Dear students, welcome to Bindu Dadwal Chemistry Lessons. The topic that we'll be doing today is exemplar problems based on electrochemistry. The first question is, which cell will measure standard electrode potential of copper electrode? So, for these solutions, the concentration should be 1 molar for both the solutions and the pressure of gas should be 1 bar for hydrogen gas. So option C has hydrogen, pressure of hydrogen as 1 bar, concentration of hydrogen ions as 1 molar, concentration of copper ions as 1 molar. So option C is the correct answer. Next question is, electrode potential for magnesium electrode varies according to the equation. Reduction potential for magnesium is equal to standard reduction potential for magnesium minus 0.059 upon 2 log of 1 upon concentration of magnesium ions. If we see the graphs, they are between reduction potential for magnesium and log of concentration of magnesium ions. So on rearranging this equation, we get electrode potential is equal to minus 0.059 upon 2 into log of 1 upon concentration of magnesium ions changes to plus 0.059 upon 2 log of concentration of magnesium ions, because we move the denominator term to the numerator term by changing the sign. So the equation becomes plus 0.0592 log of concentration of magnesium ions plus E naught magnesium ions into magnesium is equal to electrode potential of magnesium ions into magnesium. So this is M, this is X, this is C or the intercept, and this is Y. So this becomes the equation of straight line, in which this is the y-axis, the x-axis, this is the intercept C, and this the slope of the line will be equal to 0.059 upon 2. So option B is the correct answer. Which of the following statement is correct? So E cell and free energy change of reaction, both are extensive properties? No. Both are intensive properties? No. E cell is an intensive property because it does not depend upon number of particles or mass, while free energy change is an extensive property because it depends upon number of particles. Delta G is equal to minus N F E naught, where this N is number of particles. So this is the correct option. The next question is, this is not correct. The next question is, the difference between electrode potentials of two electrodes when no current is drawn through the cell is called cell EMF. Which of the following statement is not correct about an inert electrode in a cell? So it does not participate, that is true. It provides surface either for oxidation or for reduction, that is also true. It provides surface for conduction of electrons, true. It provides surface for redox reaction is not the correct answer. So this is your correct option. An electrochemical cell can behave like an electrolytic cell when the external electrode potential is greater than the electrode potential of the cell, EMF of cell. So option C is the correct answer. Which of the following statements about solution of electrolytes is not correct? Conductivity of solution depends upon size, correct, because as size increases, mobility decreases, so conductivity decreases. Conductivity depends upon viscosity of solution. It depends, because when viscosity increases, conductivity decreases. Conductivity does not depend upon solvation of ions present in solution. Not correct, because the positively charged electrolytic ions will be surrounded by negative part of the solvent. Solvation, this is called solvation. These negative part of the solvent will attract the positively charged ions toward themselves and decrease the mobility of the ions, thereby decreasing the conductivity. So conductivity depends upon solvation of ions. If it says that does not depend, then it is incorrect solution. It's not correct. So this is the correct option. Which of the statement is not correct? C is not correct. Conductivity of solution increases with temperature. That is true. Using the data given below, find out the strongest reducing agent. So when dichromate ions are reduced, the electrode potential is 1.33 volts. For chlorine to chloride ions, it is 1.36 volt. For permanganate ions to manganese ions, it's 1.51. And E0 for chromium ions to chromium is minus 0.74. So one which is having the most negative electrode potential has the greatest tendency to act as the strongest reducing agent. So option B, chromium, is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Next question is, using the data given in this question, number 8, find out which of the following is strongest oxidizing agent. So one which has the greatest positive value out of the 4 will be the strongest oxidizing agent. So 1.51 volt is the greatest value, positive value, permanganate ions into manganese ions. So option C, permanganate ion, will be the strongest oxidizing agent because it has the greatest tendency to be reduced. In +7 oxidation state, manganese will take electrons to form Mn2 positive. So this has better reduction ability, that is, it acts as a better or stronger oxidizing agent. Option C is the correct answer. Next is question number 10. Using the data again given in question number 8, find out in which option the order of reducing power is correct. So option B here is correct. We already have decided that chromium is the strongest reducing agent. Then will be chromium 3 positive ions, then chloride, then manganese, because the value increases in this order: minus 0.74, then 1.33, then 1.36 and 1.51. Use the data given in question 8 again and find out the most stable ion in its reduced form. So Mn2 positive will be the most stable ion in its reduced form. It will have a lesser tendency to gain electrons as compared to these. Use the data of question 8 and find out the most stable oxidized species. So chromium ion will be the most stable oxidized species out of these 4 because it has the greatest tendency to act as a reducing agent. Next question. The quantity of charge required to obtain 1 mole of aluminium from alumina is, as you can see in this equation, aluminium ions gain 3 electrons to form aluminium. So 1 mole of electrons carries 1 Faraday charge, so 3 moles will carry 3 Faraday charge. So option C is the correct answer. The cell constant of a conductivity cell changes with change of electrolyte, changes with change of concentration of electrolyte, changes with temperature of electrolyte, or remains constant for a cell. So this is the correct option, option D. A cell constant for a given conductivity cell remains constant because L and A, the distance between the electrodes and area of cross section of the electrode, remains constant for a particular cell. Once constructed, it will remain constant, so the overall value of cell constant also remains constant. While charging the lead storage battery, lead sulfate anode is reduced to lead. This is the correct option. This is because in a lead storage battery, when lead acts as anode, it is giving electrons. After giving electrons, it comes into the solution of sulfuric acid and reacts with the sulfate ions. It comes as lead ions. It reacts to form lead sulfate. Lead plus sulfate ions will form lead sulfate. This is during discharging of the cell. But once lead sulfate is formed, we pass current through the electrolyte. Then the opposite reaction takes place. That is, the lead sulfate that is formed will get reduced, will take up electrons and get reduced to lead. So option A is the correct answer. Molar conductivity at infinite dilution of ammonium hydroxide will be equal to molar conductivity at infinite dilution of ammonium chloride plus molar conductivity of NaOH minus molar conductivity of NaCl, because when these dissociate into their respective ions, all the three electrolytes, according to Kohlraasch law, the total conductivity of ammonium ions and hydroxide ions can be found out by cancelling out the common ions. Chloride ions minus chloride ion plus sodium ion minus sodium ions. So this is left. So when we add the molar conductivities of these two and subtract this from this, we get the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for ammonium hydroxide. In the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride solution, which of the half cell reaction will occur at anode? And out of these two reactions, water gives electron or chloride gives electron. This has lesser value, 1.23 volt. But because the reaction is kinetically a slow reaction, so extra voltage is required to carry out this reaction, and the overall value of this electrode potential increases that of this reaction. So in the end, chloride ions will give electrons to form chlorine gas. Option D is the correct answer. Positive value of standard electrode potential of copper ions to copper indicates that this redox couple, it has positive value, it will act as cathode. That means reduction will occur. So it is a stronger oxidizing agent than hydrogen ion hydrogen couple. So option B is correct. Also, copper cannot displace hydrogen from acid. So option D is also correct. Cell for some half cell reactions are given below. On the basis of these, mark the correct answer. So hydrogen gains electron to form hydrogen, water will give electrons to form oxygen, and sulfate ions will give electron to form persulfate ions. The electrode potential values are 0.0 volts, 1.23 volts and 1.96. Now, which of the following options are correct? Let's see. In dilute sulfuric acid, hydrogen will be reduced at cathode. That's true, because hydrogen gains electron to form hydrogen gas. So at cathode it is going to gain electrons to form hydrogen gas. But whereas at anode, out of these two, this reaction will most probably occur. That is, water will give electrons and form oxygen gas, and the E0 potential for this is less than that of this. So this is going to occur. But out of these two, this will occur in dilute sulfuric acid and not in concentrated sulfuric acid. So option C. In all, option A and C are the correct answers. E0 cell is equal to 1.1 volt. Which of the following expressions are correct description of state of equilibrium in this cell? Delta G0 is equal to minus RT ln K, or NF E0 minus NF E0 is equal to minus RT 2.303 log K. N for Daniell cell it's 2F to this side we get RT upon 2.303 RT upon 2F log Kc is equal to E0. So option B is correct option. Also 2.303 RT upon F is equal to 0.059. So 0.059 upon 2 log Kc is equal to 1.1. 0.059 log Kc is equal to 2.2, or log Kc is equal to 2.2 upon 0.059. So option C is correct. B and C are correct options. That's all in today's video. Thank you. Have a nice day.